Also coming up in the bulletin, over 1,500 allied health professionals at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital to withdraw OPD services on Friday, the 2nd of August.
Coming up later, Bank of Ghana's centralized foreign exchange platform for Forex Bureau operations kicks in tomorrow, August 1. Ahead of that, we'll be interrogating the policy with financial analysts.
And later in the bulletin, we'll take you on the campaign trail where former national chairman of the People's National Convention, Bernard Mona, officially declares his intention to contest in the upcoming presidential primary of his party.
All of these stories plus business and sports coming up in the next 90 minutes. Stay with us. For now, though, Grace Hamwajiman is here with the latest in summaries. Grace, what do you have?
Yes, Beatrice, let's begin from that PNC bit because a former chairman of the People's National Convention, Bernard Mona, has vowed to lead the party to victory in the December polls and break the NPP-NDC duopoly. According to him, he will put the youth at the front and center of his presidency, ensuring the creation of jobs to reduce the high levels of unemployment. Launching his presidential bid today, the outspoken politician said that he has the experience and ideas to move the country forward. President Akufo-Addo has challenged Ghanaians to hold their district assemblies responsible for the bad roads in their communities. This was after he launched the District Road Improvement Program DRIP for accelerated communal road development. And management of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital is to secure $5 million from its suppliers to construct an endoscopy unit. The unit is expected to augment the existing health provision of the hospital. Chief Executive Officer of the hospital, Dr. Pokwam Ampoma, speaking with the media, was optimistic this will improve healthcare delivery. That's it for the summaries.
Thank you very much, Grace Hamwajiman. Let's bring you details of our stories tonight. And the majority in Parliament is demanding an emergency recall of the House. This comes barely 24 hours after the Speaker of Parliament adjourned proceedings indefinitely. Majority Leader Alexander Apanyo-Markin has written to the Speaker triggering the relevant constitutional provisions in support of the recall. He argues that urgent government business needs to be attended to by the House, making a recall necessary. Listen to Alexander Apanyo-Markin speak earlier on the floor of the House.
To express our disappointment at the turn of events by Mr. Speaker. Well, we all know that in this Chamber of Parliament, we proceed on matters, reach consensus, and take decisions. I do not think that issue about adjournment and the reopening of Parliament is purely administrative. I heard a few days ago about this adjournment synod, and I must say, in all sincerity, that I engaged those I had to engage. And I was getting to a certain understanding that we could reach some consensus considering the number of business that we had as a House. Surprisingly, he did not give his closing remarks. Neither did he allow leaders to even make certain remarks, which have become part of the practice of Parliament. And these are worrying, very worrying. That notwithstanding, Mr. Speaker is the father of Parliament. He presides. We don't want to go into any banter with him. We will not act in a manner disrespectful of the chair, except to say that we vehemently disagree with the unilateral decision to adjourn the House synod.
And you heard Majority Leader Alexander Apanyo-Markin. Komla Klucher is our senior parliamentary correspondent. He joins us live on the line. Komla, if you would kindly tell us really how the House adjourned despite obvious advertised government business. And before you answer that question, let me say that we'll shortly speak to the Minority Chief Whip, Ibrahim Ahmed. Komla, just go ahead and tell us really how the House adjourned despite this very issue on board.
So let me put this into proper perspective. That the Speaker had indicated a day even before yesterday that there was a need for the House to actually rise because he, together with his deputies, were attending an international conference. The conference they were attending, the Speaker had indicated that it was important because the three of them needed to attend that conference. We also do know that one of the deputy speakers is equally unwell and had to also seek for medical treatment. But in the absence of the Speaker and his deputy, the standing orders does allow for the senior most MP to sit in the chair and be in charge of the proceedings. And I mean, these are the very late hours. These are times that if that is allowed, if a senior member is allowed, it is not to say that it cannot be done, but the repercussions we do understand is that if somebody else sits in the chair instead of the Speaker or his deputy, whatever decision they take is binding on the House. And mind you, it is the issue of the procedure. And also when it comes to Parliament, numbers play a lot. And so Speaker needed to speak in, and so the whole of yesterday, it was the Speaker himself who sat through all towards late in the night before he had to adjourn. And even before he had adjourned, the minority had tabled a motion on the $250 million loan, IDA loan. This is a loan that the minority over the period had indicated that they are averse to, and they were not going to support it because, one, if you look at the components of the loan, some $94 million alone out of the $250 million was going for consultancy, which did not make any sense to the minority, and so they registered it. But, I mean, after all of this, the minority voted against it, and the numbers did show, the voice vote did indicate that they had won. The majority had wanted to use the issue of numbers to call for a demotion, but the Speaker will have none of that. He had equally time, at his time not being on his side, and so there was a need for him to quickly move on. But it did appear to the Speaker from what we saw that even though there were a lot of some businesses to be done in house, especially the issue of bills and all that, he was not getting, so to speak, the cooperation from the government side on where they had to move to. And so in the midst of all the chaos, the Speaker adjourned the House abruptly, and he did adjourn immediately. And that means that they'll be coming back somewhere in October. If you look at the calendar that they have to run. And now, the majority leader, the sound clip to play a short while ago, came just after the Speaker had adjourned to express his disappointment about the fact that the Speaker did not allow them, in terms of even building consensus, where both he claimed that there was some consensus reached by his side and then the minority side for the business to go on, and the Speaker did not allow them. And that he finds very, very unfortunate. And so this morning we woke up to the recall notice for that emergency seating. Mind you, in the last one he did before the House started for this particular meeting, he succeeded. He had a number. Once he activates the procedures grounded in the standing orders and in the Constitution, I mean, the Speaker is duty bound, but that has to be done within 7 days.
All right. Let's get some more from the Minority Chief Whip Ibrahim Ahmed. Thank you very much, Komla Klucha, for bringing us these details. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us on Hot Edition. Hello.
Hello.
Am I, Mr. Ibrahim Ahmed? Can you hear us? Good evening. Thank you for joining us. Thank you very much for joining us. We've just heard our chief parliamentary correspondent confirming to us that the minority voted against this proposal, as it were, for Parliament to be recalled. So that presupposes that the minority is certainly against this call. Will I be right to say that?
Pardon me. Can you come again?
The minority is against the recall of Parliament.
Oh, to begin with, let me say a very good evening to your cherished listeners. I have seen the letter for the recall to Parliament on the social media. But as the letter states, the letter is addressed to the Speaker of Parliament. But as to whether the Speaker of Parliament has received it or not, I'm not aware of that. Secondly, Parliament just adjourned yesterday. And therefore, if the majority knew they had a lot of business that was supposed to be done, they should have walked the talk, or they should have done a lot of things to signify that they were ready to prosecute government business. You know, Parliament was recalled 2 months ago. And we used to give them signal. If you have business, government business to be done, bring it and let's do it. Bring it and let's do it. But I cannot impute improper motives to them. But I can also not understand why they delayed for not bringing the kind number of business that they are claiming. Based on that, they are doing recall. But the fact still remains that the Speaker, as a statesman as he is, was able to carry on a number of government businesses to go through. You may recall that the affirmative action bill, which has delayed for almost close to 2 decades, the Speaker unilaterally, single-handedly motivated everybody and sat throughout, sometimes till midnight, sometimes till 11 a.m., to make sure that the affirmative action bill was passed, to make sure that the Ghana Shippers Authority bill was passed, to make sure that the Educational Institutions bill was passed, to make sure that the EPA bill, a number of bills. But don't forget, we have a speaker and 2 deputy speakers. But as at yesterday and the last week, the Speaker of Parliament was the only, Abambazu was the only person who was presiding. But look at this man's health. To preside from morning up to midnight, can't you empathize with him? But put that one aside. That notwithstanding, he still said he has been in the house for a long time, but he knows that the cocoa syndicated loan should have been brought to Parliament. But government was not giving signal. He understands government struggles, but he knows very well that not somewhere in October, the cocoa season is about to be reopened. And therefore, no matter what happens, government by September may be able to get, or no matter how government struggle, may be able to lay hands on some funds, syndicated loan, which we brought to Parliament. So the Speaker was foreseeing a kind of recall in September, but he gave that window to the government bench. So I find it very difficult to understand why they are imputing improper with the Speaker unilaterally adjourn the House and this thing. If you are in government and you don't have the numbers to prosecute government business, wouldn't a Speaker be angry with you? If you are in government,
right,
you have majority. They put the question and your members are not there to vote for your motion. This Speaker will preside over this and he will not be angry with you.
Honorable Ibrahim Ahmed, that's a fair concern you raised there in the last part of your submission. This is Martin Aseidu, by the way, and you are still live on 3FM 92.7. I'm interested in the bit about you saying that government business doesn't seem to be important to the majority, more or less, because they that are in government, their numbers do not favor them. And instead of cooperating or trying to liaise with the minority to work with them, there seems to be this issue of conflict almost every time it comes to issues of numbers. How do you think we can reconcile this going forward? Because doing government business...
The reconciliation is what the Speaker said. The Speaker was giving them the signal. If you are 138 and we are 137, they put the question, your 138 is not there. Where were they? Put that one aside. If you bring a report and you are not including the sensitive parts of the report in the report, how do you expect me to come and rubber stamp it? If you have sensitive government issues to be brought to Parliament and you wait till the last 2 weeks to adjournment, then you bring them, thinking that I will give you the opportunity to rubber stamp them, you think I will be there for you? If you have Supreme Court judges that you bring to Parliament, the procedure is advertise them for 2 weeks. And you just advertise them for 4 days and say we should come and vet and approve them for you. Master, who will get respect for this kind of parliament? So there are serious issues. We have to take our oversight responsibility very serious. And I think they will bear with me.
How do we proceed from here? Because the recall.
What they have done
if I may,
they have invoked a constitutional article. If you are asking me how do we proceed, we just have the government bench must take the government side, majority side must take the government business very serious. Our duty is to scrutinize. Our duty is to put their legs on the fire. That is the work of a minority. We have to make sure that they do the thing and do it right. That is our work.
Are you? You say they triggered a part of parliamentary.
It's a constitution. The constitution is supreme.
Right.
Once the constitutional article has been invoked, it depends on as to whether the necessary officers have received it or not, and as to whether it qualifies admission of a motion that lie within the bosom of the speaker, not me.
Right. So as it stands, the hands of the minority are tied.
Provision. Then that one, once the speaker receives it, it lies in the hands of the speaker now to make sure that the right thing will be done. But it will be very wrong if anybody impute improper motives to the speaker. The speaker did what was right, and he made everybody aware. Whatever business you have, bring it. Whatever business you have, bring it. If you don't bring it, then we do the business up to the point that we have to adjourn, then we adjourn. Then you come and you're accusing the speaker of hurriedly adjourning the house. Where were your members when you were losing motions on the floor?
Right. Mr. Ahmed, there are those who ask the same question that I'm about to ask, and it borders on the entirety of Parliament, which is that key bills, policies that need to go through Parliament, like, for instance, now they are recalling you guys to come back to, deliberate on a $250 million financing agreement between Ghana and the International Development Association for Ghana's energy sector recovery program. These are very sensitive and important bills. Why is it that the majority side, almost always, like you indicated, either hide the most important part of the bill from you guys?
That I may not be able. We are not in cabinet. And we are not in government. So what you bring to us, who will scrutinize it? It will scrutinize it, and it will help Ghanaians who will pass it.
Do you get
it will not help Ghanaians who will vote against it.
Do you get the sense
you
that
have to provide every information that is needed to convince me. If you are hiding sensitive information from me, that I have to press you and press you and press you before you tell me. That one, you may not get what you want.
Okay, let's make progress. Do you get the sense they deliberately pack some of these bills to the last minute,
against our parliamentary ethics to impute improper motives? So I can only say we were not given the vital information that we needed. And if you don't give me complete information, I may vote based on the kind of information that I have. So if you give me scanty information, that is not able to convince me. You may not get what you want. So for you to convince me, it lies in your bosom to give me all the vital information that I need to be able to convince me.
Let me ask you this question for clarity. From your explanation, it seems obvious that your side is unhappy with how the majority is going about business. How do you think that both sides can cooperate better so that it's a win-win situation for all of you?
We are ready. After the cooperation, our numbers were there. Our numbers were there, so we are doing our cooperation. It is up to the majority side to put their house in order. You don't need all the 275 MPs to vote. But the question is, if you have 100 majority NDC members and you have 40 NPP members and they vote, definitely the 40 will lose, even though you need only 138. So you may have 140 members in the House, but so as long as the minority is always, and these members are always the majority, you need to be able to convince them. And this is non-partisan. Can you imagine an affirmative action bill which has been lagging in the House for about 2 decades that was passed?
So what it means is that if the speaker decides, because the ball lies in his court, if he decides to call you back, you wouldn't
this
have...
is a constitutional provision. Once it meets the constitutional provision, the speaker will recall.
And it means that you don't have a choice. Your hands are tied. You have to go and
the
consider
Constitution
those
has
bills.
a roadmap. Once that one is invoked, then that one, so long as the motion meets, you have the 41%, the 15% of members signing your motion, then the Speaker's office receive it. That one is a constitutional provision. And the Speaker is the lawyer. I don't think that the last time they invoke it, the Speaker recalled Parliament.
All right.
Didn't he?
Indeed. Yes.
Yes, he did. So the Speaker is a law-abiding person. I don't see why we should be belaboring this point. It's not a very difficult thing. The Speaker told them, bring everything that you have. Even the Speaker he limited the number of people who will contribute. So he did everything for them. If they give you a penalty kick and you go and you are not able to score, can you blame the referee?
We'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Ibrahim Ahmed. He is Minority Chief Whip, explaining to us the side of the minority as regards this call by the Majority Leader, Alexander Apenyomakin, for the House to consider what the majority thinks are critical issues on government's business or agenda.
And it's a fair concern he raised about the fact that, people have criticized Parliament for allowing certain bills that have not gone through the critical, perusing to go through. And then they just more or less, like he used, I'm borrowing his word, rubber stamp some of these, bills to go through.
Because
but
you wouldn't have enough time to scrutinize them.
Certainly. And for instance, this recall, the reason why there seem to be, it's an emergency recall is that the bills they need to consider include what I mentioned, which is a $250 million financing agreement between Ghana and the International Development Association for Ghana's energy sector recovery program, the request for tax exemption for designated beneficiaries under the One District, One Factory program, the International Development Association facility of $250 million for Ghana Financial Stability Fund. Other outstanding bills they need to consider are the 2023 budget bill, the 2023 rent bill, the University of Local Government and Development Bill 2024, the Environmental Protection Bill 2024, Interstate Succession Bill 2022, National Petroleum Authority Bill 2024, the Ghana Industrial Property Office Bill 2024, Chartered Institute of Reconstruction and Insolvency Practitioners Bill 2023. And so this is under the signature of Alexander Apenyomakin, who says, we respectfully urge you to summon Parliament for an extraordinary session within the stipulated 7-day period. So clearly their hands are tied. They need to show up, but their concerns are legitimate that you are forcing us to come and do something we could have done, in previous days or months or weeks. Indeed. When there wasn't pressure. Now we all need to go back and start active campaigning, because almost all of them, except those that lost their primaries, will be looking at campaigning now, or start campaigning now to return to the House of Parliament. But because of this order for them to return, it definitely will inconvenience a number of them. We'll see how business is done when they actually eventually turn up in Parliament. Especially
the bit about the tax exemption bill that the minority has opposed it for what they call 42 companies that are supposed to benefit from it under the One District, One Factory. So we really look forward to seeing what will happen in Parliament. You're still here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. So here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, let's bring you some more. And over 1,500 allied health professionals at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital are to withdraw OPD services on Friday, August 2. The group is demanding that the management of the Kolebu appoint a director for its department instead of a medical doctor. Local president of the Ghana Federation of Allied Health Professionals, Dr. Francis Kwachientri, is asking the management to act fast or risk disturbances on the health front.
And so we went to meet the board on the 26th, that was last week Friday, only to be told that yes, they admit that as it stands now, we deserve a directorate. And they are going to create the directorate, but they are going to appoint a deputy director of allied health instead of a director. And so when we were coming out of the meeting, we told them that a complex hospital, teaching hospital like Kolebu, does not deserve a deputy director of allied health. In fact, we deserve a director and even deputies under the director. Yes. And so we left the meeting unresolved. If the board and management do not advertise for the position of director of allied health today, and by close of today, midnight today, they don't take that step to advertise, on Thursday, that is tomorrow, we are going to start with work to rule, which will aggravate into a full-blown strike.
And so that's the voice of the local president of the Ghana Federation of Allied Health Professionals, Dr. Francis Kwachi Entry there. Meanwhile, the Chief Executive Officer of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Opoku Ampoma, has declined to speak on the matter. We'll try and get some more from Dr. Francis Kwachi, who has joined us on the phone lines. Doc, a very good evening to you. Thank you for joining us on 3FM 92.7.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Help us understand, first of all, the role that allied health professionals play in our health sector, or maybe for this particular instance, in Kolebu specifically.
All right, thank you so much. So if you come to the hospital, not Kolebu alone, but any hospital you go for medical care, apart from the medical doctor you interface with at the consulting room, and then our sisters or brothers, the pharmacists, you go for your medication, or the nurses who attend to you either at the OPD or at the ward, virtually all the other persons you meet falls under our group, the Allied Health group. So the laboratory is under Allied Health. Yeah, physiotherapy is under Allied Health. You go to radiography is Allied Health. Those X-ray and the others. You go to the scan is Allied Health. Audiology, the speech, Allied Health. Nutrition and dietetics are Allied Health. We are over 23 different professional groupings.
Right.
That is under the federation.
Wow. Okay. That makes you a very important part of our entire health delivery system. But what difference does it make, talking about the leadership of the allied health professionals, what difference does it make if you have a director or a medical director leading the team? Why are you asking for someone specific than a regular health director or medical professional?
All right. So when you come to the hospitals, like the teaching hospital, let's zoom into Kolebu Teaching Hospital. We have the board, which is the highest decision making. They are virtually in charge of policy direction, strategic, positioning of the hospital. And then you come down to management that is involved with the day-to-day running of the hospital. And so when you come to management level, from the CEO down, you come to various directorates. So we have the pharmacy directorate, you have the nurses, you have the medical doctors. Where we are currently, you go to general services, human resource. These are involved in the day-to-day activity of what is happening within the hospital. And so when you have a director, he is supervising the day-to-day activities of everything happening in the hospital. And in terms of, professional development, in terms of quality, in terms of direction, in terms of where the hospital is going, the actual operations is done at the directorate level.
Right.
And so we are saying that...
And a medical doctor cannot play that role?
No. So a medical doctor is actually in one line. You have a pharmacist who is also in another line, a nurse who is also in another line, and the allied health group, we are also in one line.
So,
and what we do is collaborative actually work to make sure the patient is
right.
taken
So
care of.
the person who is expected, or you are hoping to lead the allied health professionals, should come from within, should be an allied health professional himself or herself. Is that a point?
So the point is that there should be the appointment of a director to supervise the activities of allied health. When you go to the ministry has a director specifically for allied health. It is same for the nurses, it is same for physicians, it is same for pharmacists.
Okay.
And when you go to teaching hospitals like Tamale, like Ho, they have actually done the needful by appointing a director who supervises activities of allied health.
Okay.
And so we are saying that Kolebu should have even led when the ministry actually took that step.
Okay. But then why should patients be suffering the brunt of this? This is a purely administrative or high level decision that must be taken. How is it that patients come and they may not get served because of these kinds of administrative concerns that you raise?
So anytime you see that professionals are resorting to, let's say, an industrial action, it will suggest that we would have exhausted all, administrative channels. And so at this point, we are frustrated as professionals. We started the conversation not just yesterday, for over a year, almost a year now. Since last year, November, we wrote to the board that they should take appropriate steps to appoint for us a director. And that has not actually happened. In actual fact, even the letter we wrote to the board, they did not respond. We gave them a reminder in May, they did not, until we saw that we were going to appoint a deputy director of medical affairs into bracket allied health. And that is what raised the eyebrow. And we are demanding that they do the needful and appoint for us a director to supervise our activity. Now, let me state that when a director is there and a directorate is functioning and professionals are improved, it translates into better care for our patients. So we are doing this on behalf with the interest of our patients at the background.
Okay. You've given an ultimatum. What are you expecting before the deadline?
So what we are saying is that the advert that they actually brought out, if you look at the duties and responsibilities, it is that of a director. They should just change the heading and then put it right, that they are advertising for the position of a director of allied health. And I think that it will solve all the matters. Now, the ministry have actually done same. What is keeping Kolebu from following what the good record of their mother ministry?
We tried getting the head of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital's position on this. He has declined to speak to us, but we'll see what happens in the next few days as your ultimatum inches closer. Thank you for making time to speak with us, Dr. Francis Kwachi Entry, who is...
It's a pleasure having you.
Right. He is the local president of the Ghana Federation of Allied Health Professionals in there speaking to us regarding their threat of declaring a strike, a full-blown strike, if the leadership they are seeking is not, immediately addressed. You're still listening to 3FM 92.7. This is Hot Edition. We're shifting on to some other stories now.
And let's bring you some more, because the battle for who occupies the highest position of the land has intensified with less than 5 months to Ghana's general election. But so have calls for peace. In this special report, explore the thoughts of former Shraj boss Emil Short ahead of the polls.
Right.
Ghana goes to the polls You're still here on Hot Edition, Australia FM 92.7.
Ghana goes to the polls in December 2024, and the atmosphere is already getting tensed. With less than 5 months, no political party wants to leave anything to chance.
We're going to improve the free SHS. We are going to work hard to remove the obnoxious double-track system. All our children can go to school. All our children.
In terms of agricultural growth, we've done better. Industrial growth, we've done better. Jobs, we have done better. Trade balance, we have done better. Current account, we have done better.
And civil society organizations are equally concerned.
Please, if you lose, accept it gracefully. There will be another time, another opportunity. Carry your message clearly, and the people of Ghana will listen to you.
It is why retired judge and the first commissioner of the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Shraj, Justice Emil Short, thinks that it is time to start the conversation on ensuring peaceful polls come December 2024.
This is my most important consideration and appeal to the political parties, that we should have an election throughout the campaign period, on the day of the election and thereafter, that everything will be done in a peaceful manner, that the elections themselves will be conducted in a transparent, free and fair manner.
Justice Short has a point to make. Ghana lost 8 people during the 2020 general election. To him, it was needless. And going into this year's election, there is no point repeating that.
The political parties and their supporters would ensure that this is an election that is totally free from violence. There is absolutely no reason why anybody should be hurt or killed just because of elections.
Emil Short has had an interesting past of not just working in Ghana, but also in Rwanda after that country's genocide. And so the talk of violence and loss of lives resonates a sense of personal responsibility, not just for him, but those who are in position for change. And that is why he believes that the current administration of Shraj could have done better.
I would have expected that this matter would have been resolved long ago, but here again, as I said, I'm not in a position to determine why the investigation into the deaths which occurred has not been completed. I think everybody would have expected that before the next election, this matter would have been resolved.
He thinks that could boost confidence in the populace ahead of the polls.
That would be desirable. It will build greater confidence going forward with the 2024 election.
He wants those responsible to be brought to book.
Definitely, accountability must be upheld. That is one area in which we have not done very well. Accountability has been weak.
In 5 months, all eyes will be on Ghana as the country goes to the polls. And it seems there is no turning back to the dark days. My name is Beatrice, TV3 News.
Right, so that report will be live on TV3, our sister station, but then also we just brought it to you on Hot Edition, which is live on 3FM 92.7. And you'd also want to let us know what you make of this particular development regarding how in the last election, 8 Ghanaians lost their lives, but very little has been heard regarding investigations and how the perpetrators are being searched for to face the rigors of the law. We'll keep very close tabs on this and how the political parties react to it for you in a jiffy. In more political news this evening, remember one of our headline stories has it that the former national chairman of the People's National Convention, the PNC, Bernard Mona, says that he will be running for the presidential primaries of the party. He's given indications that he will make the youth the center of his campaign and ensure they are all part of the major decisions that this country needs to take. So the former national chair, Bernard Mona, has officially declared his intention to contest in the upcoming presidential primary of the party. Bernard Mona becomes the second leading member of the PNC, I should say, to declare his desire to lead the PNC into the December 7 elections after Samson Asaki Awingobit made his announcement earlier in January this year. For now, it is not clear whether the 2020 presidential candidate David Apasera will also be seeking a fresh mandate, but indications are that he is likely to enter the race. The PNC's electoral fortune has dwindled consistently election after election, with the situation expected not to improve anytime soon, considering how other key individuals or interested in persons have joined Ghana's political landscape. The party will be going to Congress on August 31 to elect a flag bearer. Bernard Mona says he is confident to make a difference come December 7.
Power since 1992, the duopoly has marginalized smaller parties, leading to a decline in the electoral performance, with independent candidates and minor parties garnering only 1.3% of votes in the 2020 elections. Speaking at his candidacy launch, Bernard Mona said even though the party's fortunes have been declining, he is optimistic of changing the narrative.
The message of the PNC has been a solid one. The only thing that has been lacking is the messenger. We have not been able to spread a messenger that the people of Ghana can rhyme with. You have a messenger that has swag, a messenger that understands what's up, a messenger that is a guy with respect to the issues that confront the people of Ghana. That messenger is Bernard Ambata Mona.
According to him, since the Nkrumah and Liman-led administration, the country has not experienced good leadership. He said he is willing to create the change Ghanaians are calling for.
Our languages of origin will be used as languages of instruction in our schools, so that when you go to the market area, we will begin to have confidence that our languages are not inferior to the Englishman's language, to the Frenchman's language. And this is the reason why we want to run. So we will ensure food sufficiency. We will reclaim the industries of our nation and ensure that we are able to mobilize our nation for greater good.
The PNC flag bearer race is expected to be between Bernard Mona, the former flag bearer David Apasara, and Samson Asaki Awingobit, who are yet to officially declare their intent.
And that's a report about how the PNC intends to elect its flag bearer come the next few months, and we have just about 5 months to the major elections. PNC as a political party has had some bad up and downs. In fact, there is a breakaway from that party that has formed the NPC. So they've just replaced the same letters that formed the PNC, and now it is NPC. So I mean, all of this confusion.
PNP, don't forget.
Yes, and then there's PNP as well. So it looks as though the Nkrumahist parties have struggled for how many years now to try and get their acts together so they can actually be credible when it comes to Ghana's elections. Otherwise, the duopoly is likely to fester and continue for a long time.
Indeed. Let's bring you some more. And the Public Accounts Committee has directed the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development and the National Premix Fuel Secretariat to take immediate steps to retrieve an amount of 131,000 cedis from Ghana oil marketing companies. The companies, Petrol SP PLC company, Rice Globe Company Limited and Desert Petroleum Limited have been cited in the 2023 Auditor General's report as having failed to pay the amount being administrative margins on fuel supply to the Premix Secretariat spanning the period from January to December 2022. Appearing before the committee today, the Chief Director for the Ministry of Fisheries, Marian Papa, revealed that the companies are now defunct and several efforts to trace the whereabouts of the managers have proved futile. Take a listen to what happened.
The three companies in question, in January 2023 of last year, we wrote to the companies demanding for the payment of their amount. We did not receive any response from them. We followed up with a visit to their offices that we were aware where they were operating from, and realized that they had closed the offices and there was no one there. We've tried to follow up to make contacts with individuals, but to no avail. So we wrote to the Attorney General to assist us in locating these companies and recovering their amount. Recent follow-ups again with the companies, two of them have indicated that we were able to get some individuals, I think the finance manager and another officer in one of the companies, who said that they will forward the information to their superiors, but that we should give them some time. But those are in respect to the steps that have been taken so far, we are trying to retrieve the amounts owed, but to date we've not been successful. Thank you.
Are these companies still operating?
No, Honorable.
So where are the directors?
So that is why I said that we were trying to find the companies, those who are behind the companies, and
you have transacted business with them all along. Does it mean that when you are doing business with them, you didn't know who you are dealing business with? Don't we have the administrator of the secretariat here?
The administrator has taken his annual leave. It was approved before this invitation.
But there must be somebody from the secretariat who is here. Should respond to the issue.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Yes, we have information here on some of the directors of the company.
Okay.
And as the Chief Director rightly said, they were the people that we have communicated the information to with other officers, and they promised to resolve an issue they have with the National Petroleum Authority, and by close of August, one of them, Petro XP, promised to get back to us. Thank you.
How about Rice Globe? Rice Globe owe about 107,000. And for Petro SP, it's only 2,300 that they owe.
And I heard that interaction between officials of the Fisheries and Aquaculture Ministry and representatives on the Public Accounts Committee. You're still here on Hot Edition on Shri FM 92.7. Michael Ogbodu is standing by with the latest in business. Ahead of that, step into the world of Dewa 539 for your chance to win a big with Dewa Direct and Dewa Chop Money. With Dewa Direct, dial star 446 hash, pick 1 to 39 and win 20 times, 40 times or 400 times your stake, and win cash every evening at 7 p.m. and on Sundays at 6 p.m. Early birds love Dewa Chop Money. At 10 a.m., dial star 446 hash, choose 1 to 39 and win 20 times, 40 times or 400 times. Play at dewa-nla.com or dial star 446 hash. Need help? Call 055-6259-249 or 053-2479-879. Dewa Afa.
Hello there, good evening. It's time now for business segment on Hot Edition. Coming up tonight, mass migration of civil servants with bank loans becomes growing concern for Ghanaian banks amid persistent surge in non-performing loans. I am Michael Obodo. I'll bring you details of these and more shortly. Please, don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for your time. Straight into our top story. There is a growing trend of civil servants leaving Ghana, leading to significant financial losses for local banks. This issue arises because the loans these individuals owe are typically deducted directly from their payrolls. Chief Executive of Leseho Ghana Savings and Loans PLC Ni Amankra Tete highlighted this concern during the Facts Behind the Figures event organized by the Ghana Stock Exchange.
The biggest challenge we are seeing right now for us, especially in 2024, is what's happening in terms of people are vacating posts within the public service. I think that for us is a big challenge that is now beginning to play through our books. That's part of our total thing, contributes almost 43% of our book. And so that's something that really warrants a lot more interrogation. I think it'll be a fantastic thing if we could see the embassies collaborate with us to make sure that the work that's happening with us trying to empower societies is also supported by this. It doesn't make any sense to have so much money leave the system because of this process and then to come back and do foreign direct investments or grants and these things if we can develop our own. So I'm convinced that it's something that they would find interesting, and we're looking forward to see the support we get.
So that was Chief Executive of Leseho Ghana Savings and Loans PLC Ni Amankra Tete. Now, financial analyst Dr. Richmond Frimpong has expressed skepticism about the impact of the Bank of Ghana's newly introduced centralized forex trading platform on controlling the cedi's depreciation against other major trading currencies like the US dollar. Dr. Frimpong, who is also Executive Director of Financial Literacy Africa, acknowledged the platform's administrative benefits but argued that it falls short of addressing the illegal forex market activities contributing to the cedi's persistent decline.
We still are going to not just relax and assume this is going to cure the difficulties and the deficiencies we have with the value of the currency in terms of depreciation, because this in real terms does not solve the currency challenges in terms of its depreciation. The real causes are macro and they are to the core. And as long as those balances and gaps are not fixed, we will just administratively and seamlessly fix the formalization of the forex market, but it does not in any way cure the currency depreciation as far as the gaps we have identified are concerned. So this is good administratively, but I think we will need to do more. That is to say that it's a good initiative, but this is not in any way going to solve entirely the currency depreciation challenges that we have.
So that's financial analyst and Executive Director of Financial Literacy Africa, Dr. Richmond Frimpong, expressing skepticism with some policy directive from the Bank of Ghana. Now, away from that, the Ghana Union of Traders, the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, has indicated that it will proceed with its planned increase in transport fares despite a projected drop in fuel prices. Earlier, the GPRTU announced plans to hike transport fares due to the significant rise in fuel cost. Speaking to 3 Business, Industrial Relations Officer for GPRTU, Alhaji Abbasi Muro, emphasized that fuel is not the only operational cost factor for transport operators in the country.
The public should be aware. It's not automatic that we should reduce the lorry fares because there has been so many sacrificial. The recent increments, you can remember, insurance premium alone went up by 10%. Other items, lubricants, I can even say around 40%. The spare parts was there. Documentations like other DVLA, other permits, that all those amounts also shoot up. So, and the public should be aware. Recently there was an issue of which something small was put on the fuel, and one arm, should I use them one arm because they are part of us? You heard concern came out that they wanted us to increase lorry fares. We said no. We have something, we said 10% threshold, of which we haven't gotten there. So we feel that's not the way. And we came up and condemned it, and we are living with it. So we sensitize the public that it's not just any reduction on fuel, which could also attract reduction on lorry fares. So they shouldn't come and fight us. They should take it easy. We have other items which are still at the higher prices. But of course, I must be honest with myself and with the general public. If it's going to be true that fuel price shall be reduced by some margin, we will be very happy. It will somehow try to stabilize our income for us. So we welcome it.
So here the Abbas Imoro Alhaji. He is the Industrial Relations Officer of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRT, bringing an end to the business segment here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. For more business stories, please check out our website. It's 3news.com/business. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe. Up next is sports with Kelvin Owusu, and he has the details. Please stay tuned.
Well, it's time for sports here on Hot Edition. Well, my name is Kelvin Owusu, and well, there's been a lot that has been happening with regards to the Olympics. But before we get to that, let's quickly turn our attention to Joseph Polomo. He's been speaking about the team's mood in camp. We expect the athletics to begin on Friday, and he has spoken about the team's motivation and then the mood in camp ahead of the big day. But on the 2nd of August, Rosie Abuamwenima will be competing in the women's high jump event.
Positive vibes over here. You know, everyone is just gelling really well, and we just can't go out there to compete because it's been a long time coming. We've been waiting for this for quite some time. So training camp has been good. Everyone is healthy, we thank God. So we just waiting for the day we got to go out there and compete. Yeah, obviously, I like to go out there just as much as I like to compete in the relay. I like to go out there and then showcase my talent as well in the individual event. So obviously, I'm a little bit disappointed, but I can't beat myself too much about it. So I'm just going to go out there, pour the eggs in one basket, which is the relay basket, and then try to go out there and compete against the best in the world.
Trying to compete against the best in the world. Well, we've had a lot coming in there from. But there's some bits of news coming in from that is Ghana's swimmer. That is Harry Stacey's coach, Ralph Quay. And he's been speaking about the impact this would have on the young kids who are upcoming and being part of the club where Harry Stacey managed to develop from. They watched the race with him yesterday at the Botiman Swimming Center.
Moving forward, we see a lot of kids out here for the Ghana Summer Swim Camp, and there's a lot of development. So when you look at swimming moving forward in Ghana over the past few years, to be a member of that, tell us what you're seeking to achieve, and tell us what the goal is for these young kids to become like the likes of Harry and Giselle and others.
And that is the goal. We're trying to get as many people representing Ghana on the international stage as possible. And the kids you see here, they are our future. If we can get all the support we need to keep them in the sports, to motivate them, keep them encouraged, I think Ghana can be a powerhouse in swimming in a few years to come.
Okay, thank you.
So that is it there. That is the motive of getting more swimmers when it comes to the Olympics and other world championships. Now, the latest from the Olympics in tennis, Tommy Paul managed to get over Corentin Moutet. Novak Djokovic once again getting over Dominic Kofa. There is also Sebastian, that is Baez, who was defeated by Stefano Tsitsipas. There is Lorenzo Musetti, who also defeated Taylor Fritz. Also in there, Carlos Alcaraz defeated Roman Tafulin and Felice Ujah Alezim. had a very good game over Daniil Medvedev, edging him in 2 straight sets. And Casper Ruud also defeating Francisco Sharundolo. As it stands now, Alexander Zverev leading Alexei Popin 6-5 with the final set for Alexander Popyrin currently ongoing. In the women's division, we saw earlier how Quinnen Zheng eliminated Angelique Kerber, and Angelique Kerber says she has retired from tennis. And then Iga Swiatek also managed to defeat Danielle Collins 6-1 in the first set. She lost 6-2, but she was leading 4-1 when Danielle Collins retired. So that's also the latest updates coming in from the Olympics. Tennis. In football, as it stands now, it's getting difficult for Zambia to make that progression. Nigeria have already been booted out after losing 3-1 to Japan. Spain defeated Brazil by 2-0. Martha being showed the red card. So you look at the table from that group, and Spain finished with 9 points, Japan 6, Brazil with 3 points, Nigeria with no points at all. In Group B, the USA women currently have 9 points, Germany 6 points, Australia 3, Zambia have no points at all. This is because Zambia currently are losing 1-0 to Germany, and USA leading Australia 1-0 at halftime. Later at 7 p.m., Colombia will play Canada and New Zealand against France. But if you look at that table, it is Colombia with 3 points, France with 3 points, Canada with no points, all because they were deducted 6 points, but they had already won their 2 games. So it's going to be very much exciting going into the next couple of days. Now let's drop back into some more football. And out of folk, that is a majority shareholder, Toby Apede, has explained why he has decided to go for a very good commercial center. It's not that he's doing away with excellence on the pitch. They are going to do that in tandem to make sure they get the very best of out of folk in their glory colors in the 2024-2025 season.
Of course, we have secretariat, the secretariat that will continue to function. What we have today will remain our commercial center. Again, a demonstration for our commitment to ensuring that we exploit as much as possible the commercial value of the brand that we are building. We know that it doesn't take only infrastructure, but we need solid management. We continue to work at it. We need solid technical team. We continue to work at that as well. We need solid group of players. We're working at it. We want to assure our fans that management is committed, board is committed to assembling the best squad possible.
Management is committed, board is committed to assembling the best squad possible. This is according to Toby Apede, the 14th, who is ready to make sure they get the very best. Now, to Honorable Neil Antivanapo, he believes the government should come in to help support when it comes to sports. He bemoans the poor performance of Team Ghana with just 8 athletes at the Paris 2024 Olympics.
Promotion of all football clubs and all sporting activities in the country. So it is not just about football. Sports, you need fans, you need money, you need resources to be able to develop and promote sports.
And how well is Parliament going to push for this thing?
Parliament do not do anything. It's a policy, it's government. When government brings its policy, government brings the budget, we shall approve it if it is for a good purpose.
So that is it, they're coming in if it's a good purpose. Now, Kumasi Asante Kotoko have completed the signing of Legon City's midfielder, that is Samuel Tenadu. He is a very good pass of the ball, and he has signed with the Porcupines for 2 years, hoping that he gets the very best of performance as a result. As Kotoko continue to bolster their squad, the Porcupines are looking forward to finalizing the signatures of other midfielders who would come in to help with it. So that is Tenadu. He has signed for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Away from that to the this is the 11th player that the Porcupines have signed. Now away to Manchester City, and the citizens have been fined more than £2 million for delaying Premier League kickoffs and restarts 22 times over the past 2 seasons. The club accepted they had breached Premier League rules when they delayed kickoff or delayed the restart after halftime on multiple occasions. Without good reason, the Premier League champions delayed restart 8 times in the 2022-2023 season and were fined £390,000. In the 2023-2024 season, there were 14 breaches and fines amounting to £1.7 million, with the start of the second half delayed 11 times and the start of the match delayed 4 times. Very unfortunate there for the citizens, but they're getting ready for the new season. Crystal Palace are expected to complete the signature, the signing off, that is his winger Ismail Assar from Marseille for a fee in the region of £12.5 million. The 26-year-old is expected to sign a 5-year contract at the Selhurst Park. Sarr joined Marseille from Watford in July last year for an undisclosed fee. The winger scored 34 goals in 131 appearances during his time at Watford and registered 5 goals and 6 assists in all competitions for Marseille last season. Now let's finish off with some stories from Manchester United, and Amad Diallo says he's ready to fight for his place in Erik ten Hag's starting lineup.
Game time, but it's me to prove myself in the training and to say I'm ready to start now with the team. I got good relationship with everyone, with every player, but maybe with that guy, maybe because we are young, and I got a lot more relationship with them than the other player. But yeah, Rasmus is a good guy. He's from Atalanta, like me, so we got a good relationship. Kobe and Ghana, we have the same agent now, and Kobe is a beautiful guy, nice guy, every time smiling. So yeah, I'm happy to be part of that team and to be friend of the guy.
So that is it there from Amad Diallo. Kylian Mbappe buys majority stake in League 2 club Caen, and also Jurgen Klopp has distanced himself from the England job. Manchester United defender Lenny Yoro is still on crutches with a foot injury. West Ham are closing in on Leeds United forward Somerville to add up to their team. That will be all for sports here on Hot Edition. My name is Kelvin Olson. Hot Edition continues with Beatrice Edu.
Hey, ready to make your drive home epic? It's the 3FM Drive with the one and only Giovanni Killen right here on 3FM 92.7. Weekdays, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're transforming your commute into a top-tier experience. Need a pick-me app? Our music belt is pure energy, pure vibes. Stay ahead with the Drive Sports, bringing you the latest scores and highlights. Curious about the stars? We've got all the hottest trends, celebrity profile interviews, plus DJ faculty has got you.
Ready? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays on 3FM Drive. You know where it's at.
From Allah. This is where the action is at, live on the 3FM Drive on 3FM 92.7. Welcome to the 3FM Drive. That's right!
Imagine a day where the entire family will converge with music, food, family, amusement park rides, so many games, and all your favorite personalities at 3FM. Welcome to 3FM's Family Fun Day at Gazebo Accra Park in Jolu on Founders Day holiday, August 5th, 2024. Join us for a holiday of excitement, fun, and a celebration of the most precious thing of all,
When it comes to the world of sports, what does complete mean to you?
When my team scores at the end of a 30-plus passing sequence, you know, like Pep Guardiola style.
When someone beats the buzzer from a shot from the logo, like Steph Curry.
Dominating opponents and punching my way to a knockout, like Africa's greatest boxer, Azuma Nelson.
Running so fast that I can afford to celebrate midway through a 100-meter race and smash the world record like Usain Bolt.
Hold up. What makes all of these sports complete
is the screen. This is where you get access to extensive analysis, insights, and highlights.
So join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. live on 3FM 92.7 as we serve you the most satisfying buffet in the world of sports. The 3 Sports team will come together to review, preview, and analyze the latest in sports on Sports Ultras.
And you're still here on Hot Edition on 3FM and 92.7. Thank you very much, Kelvin Owusu, for bringing us the latest in sports. Let's bring you some more here. And the minority in Parliament has sent a request to the District Assembly Common Fund for information on prices of certain items that were displayed today at the launch of the road improvement project. And the petition was sent, or that request was sent by the Member of Parliament for Boku Central, Mahama Ayariga. We'll be speaking to him very shortly. But I do have a copy of that request, and I'll read details of that to you before we do speak to him. And it's addressed to the Administrator of the District Assembly Common Fund. And it says, DSA request for information on prices of road construction equipment under the District Road Improvement Program. He said, pursuant to Section 18 of the Right to Information Act 2019, Act 989, I write on the instruction of Honorable Dr. Kaisel Atoforsen, the leader of the National Democratic Congress NDC caucus in Parliament, to request for the following information. A, the cost at which each unit of the equipment meant for the District Road Improvement Program DRIP launched on Wednesday 31st July 2024 has been procured. B, the payment schedule for the equipment. C, the total payment in respect of the equipment as of now and the total cost of the District Road Improvement Program DRIP. We recall that Parliament approved funds under the Common Fund formula for the acquisition of these equipment. We also saw the broadcast of the launch of the government's District Road Improvement Program DRIP. We are, however, interested in knowing the prices at which the equipment were procured. We noted that the equipment include 6x4 tipper truck, water tank truck, wheel loader, motor grader, roller. Mahama Ayariga, like I said, is the MP for Boku Central. He joins us live on the line. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, yeah, good evening.
So I'm just reading from your statement here, you saying that we recall, and I'm just reading one of the last paragraphs here, we recall that Parliament approved funds under the Common Fund formula for the acquisition of these equipment. I'm just wondering why this request has become necessary now. You knew about this, and this was launched today.
Yeah, I mean, the question really is asking for the price of the equipment that has been procured. As for approving the policy, which is what was done by Parliament. Personally, I disagree with the policy, but, you know, in Parliament, when it comes out as an approved document, you all have collective responsibility for it. But after you've approved it, the issue then is those who are going to procure the items were interested in value for money. So what is the price? What is the cost of the project? You know, I just spoke to one of your sister stations, and I made the point that in Ghana and Africa generally, politicians will unveil such grandiose projects, launch such major initiatives, parade thousands of equipment, and create the impression that they are donating them to communities or citizens and etc. I mean, a clear fallacy. It's public money. And so let's know what is the price. They delivered a lot of speeches today, but none of them had the courage to tell us at what price they were buying these items. And that is where we, the citizens, must be, watching. When they say, oh, we are doing this, we are delivering that, at what price? So all the speeches, nobody wanted to tell us at what price they are purchasing this equipment for. Are we getting value for money? That is why the minority leaders said, look, write to them, ask them to tell us the price at which they are procuring these items. It is important. When the president was speaking, he should have also proudly mentioned that for each grader, we paid X amount. For each dozer, we paid X amount. For each tipper, we paid X amount. He should have gladly and proudly mentioned that. But nobody went near telling us, the citizens, at what price these thousands of equipment are being purchased. That's why we have asked, as a minority and opposition, it's our job to probe into those matters. So we wrote to them to ask them, what is the price?
It's your job to probe these, and I'm just going to refer again to this letter, the portion I read to you earlier, which is about the fact that Parliament approved this. I'm just wondering whether this was the best way to get this, since it already, the process, as it were, started in Parliament. Was there another way of getting the nitty-gritties, as it were, you wanted, instead of writing directly?
The way Parliament works is that you come and say, we want to buy equipment. We need to spend 20 million on purchasing equipment. We would then say, what do you need equipment for? Oh, we want to use it for this and that. So no problem. Go ahead. You can go and purchase the equipment. Now, how much you buy a single equipment is now your responsibility, not Parliament. We don't approve the unit cost of the equipment. We approve the decision to procure the equipment, and then when the government brings a budget and captures an amount to be used for the purchase of the equipment, we then approve that budget. But what you do with the money, in terms of value for money, how much equipment you get with the quantum of money that we have approved for you, we are not responsible for that. You are responsible for that. So you should come and tell us that the money you gave us when we went to the market, we got one equipment for $58,000, or we got one equipment for $70,000, or we got one equipment for $40,000. And our job as parliamentarians is to do this kind of follow-up. Oh, we approve money for these people to buy equipment. We've seen them assemble the equipment, but they haven't told anybody how much they bought the equipment for. Maybe there's something interesting happening there in terms of how much they bought the equipment for. So let's ask them. So we're just doing our basic jobs.
So you've written to the District Assembly Common Fund directly to the administrator. Did you get any immediate reaction or response, and any timelines giving you as regards when this information will be released to you?
Well, I thought that you, the journalist, will also be calling the administrator by now and asking her if she has cited the letter, and asking her if she knows the price of the equipment. And you should be calling the Minister for Local Government now and also asking him if he has cited the letter, and asking him if he can tell you how much he purchased the equipment for. We've asked the question. The executors of the policy are there, and you media houses also have access to them. So just as you have called me, by now you should be calling those who carried out that huge activity this morning at Independence Square. You should be calling the organizer and asking, Arga has asked for the price of the equipment. Can you tell us the price of the equipment?
We will do
That's what you as journalists should be doing, not me.
We will do what we have to do, but I'm just asking whether after you filed, there was any immediate response as regards what you had put before the administrator.
The letter went today. So we're waiting for a response.
All right, we'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Mahama Yariga, MP for Boku Central, who has written on behalf of the Minority Leader, Kesela Tuforsen, to the Administrator of the District Assembly Common Fund, demanding information as regards prices of some of the equipment that were displayed today at the launch of the District Road Improvement Program.
This is still 3FM 92.7 and you're live on Hot Edition. Let's bring you some news coming in, especially those within the business space. The Bank of Ghana has launched a new centralized foreign exchange trading platform requiring all licensed foreign exchange bureaus to conduct their transactions exclusively through this system starting the 1st of August 2024. According to the bank, all transactions involving the buying and selling of forex currencies must be conducted through this centralized system. And it is in line with this notice that all persons seeking to buy or sell foreign exchange, beg your pardon, why does this word keep slipping out of my mouth? So all those who intend to buy or sell foreign currencies, which is the same as forex, must provide a Ghana card or passport for foreign nationals and undergo biometric verification. Michael Ogbodu is with the business desk and he's joined us to help us understand what exactly, first of all, do we even know what necessitated this move by the Bank of Ghana? Thank you, Michael, for joining us on Hot Edition. Do we know why the Bank of Ghana has decided to rope this in?
Well, I guess that is answered within the first few pages of its statement, a release that came earlier today with the heading Deployment of Centralized Platform for Foreign Exchange Bureau. In line with its objectives to ensure the integrity and development of the financial system, the Bank of Ghana has launched a centralized foreign exchange trading platform. Effective August 1, 2024, all licensed foreign exchange bureaus will be required to use this platform for the buying and selling of foreign currencies. This initiative marks a milestone in the bank's efforts to ensure safe and sound operations of the foreign exchange business. The platform will improve oversight of directors and management of bureaus and enhance the bank's monitoring and supervision of the operations in compliance with the Foreign Exchange Act 2006, Act 723, and the Anti-Money Laundering Act, Act 1044, as amended, and other relevant notices and enactments. So basically, this new system that the Bank of Ghana is introducing will give them the ability to know in real time what's happening within the industry, within the foreign exchange market in the country, and to introduce some level of traceability with where the money is going. Of course, this is also part of efforts to bring some structure to forex trade in the country, and also in a bit to address money laundering, because of course, if you come down to change money, we know who you are and we can trace you based on the fact that you require a Ghana card to undergo any transaction with a licensed forex bureau in the country. Now, it has also put together some guidelines, or to ensure full utilization and realization of the system's objectives. Some protocols have been put in place. Trading of foreign currencies with licensed dealers only. Usage of the platform. Now, all foreign exchange bureaus transactions shall be conducted on the new trading platform. So now, based on that, foreign exchange bureaus are required to issue electronic receipts to customers for all purchases and sales of foreign currencies. So now a step further, point number 4, in line with the Bank of Ghana's notice titled Use of Ghana Card for All Financial Transactions, all persons seeking to buy or sell foreign currencies must provide a Ghana card or passport for foreign nationals and undergo biometric verification. That's an interesting bit to it. So it means that basically now when you turn up at your forex bureau without a Ghana card or a valid passport, if you're an international foreigner in the country, you won't be able to acquire forex. These are quite interesting dynamics, but of course, the big question really is, first off, we know that the Bank of Ghana is only able to supply 40% of the total forex required for imports in the country. The other 60% is left to the forex bureaus and the banks. However, we do know that they are not able to meet that total demand. So the black market, unfortunately, is a significant player.
You mean the Bank of Ghana is not able to meet the 40% requirement of them?
I mean, out of the 100% total forex required for imports, the Bank of Ghana is only able to provide 40%. That's why every now and then they auction forex to, for instance, the BDCs and the likes to import petrol into the fuel into the country. So that's the 40% angle. But of course, there still is a deficit of about 60% that is left with the bank's forex, forex bureaus. Yes. Tongue twister today. Yeah, forex bureaus, and unfortunately also the black markets to meet that demand. And so, well, the BOG is trying to bring some sanity in the space, but the question still remains: what happens to the black market? Because if I don't have a Ghana card, where do I go? And of course, a lot of people. So it may be a double-edged sword. Maybe those who would have gone to, for instance, the forex bureaus who don't have a Ghana card, what happens to them? And that's it.
I mean, like you indicated, it's not a bad idea in and of itself, and it is good it is coming at this time. Some may say it's a bit too late in the day. However, there are those who prefer doing business with the black market because of the varying rates.
Exactly.
You know, so there's a likelihood that the black market might go blacker. They might go further down and still transact, whilst these kinds of policies and directives from the Bank of Ghana will be floating above. However, we'll see in the next few days what reactions the individuals who operate within the black market sector would be giving to this new directive, and whether or not they are willing to formalize their sector and also now, legitimately operate this business. But I think that in almost every country, black market operations, in fact, the countries deliberately allow some, give some allowance to people to operate within that space. So, I mean, it's early days yet. It's new. It's interesting. And people like me applaud the fact that we want to sanitize how forex is done, because almost every time the cedi is falling against the foreign currencies, people make reference to the black market activities and how that also affects or impacts the relationship between the local currency and the foreign currencies. We'll see. We'll try and get further answers to this development. Yeah, you can come in, Michael.
Also, some have argued that, of course, this policy approach by the Bank of Ghana is actually a policy of majoring on the minors, because, of course, the major problem really is the black market, and that must be addressed. It was almost as if Dr. Kwache saw this coming. Yesterday, I was at a program where he stated that the Bank of Ghana must make the effort to increase its forex allocation for imports from 40 to at least about 60%, because according to him, about 70 actually, because, of course, what that does is that the businesses will actually prefer to do business with the BOG because, of course, the rate is cheaper.
Then the rate should be better.
Exactly. So if we can get majority of the forex from the BOG, then there will be no need even to go to the black market in the first place.
Fair point. Thank you very much, Michael Ogbodu with our business desk, bringing some clarity to this new directive from the Bank of Ghana that if you want to do any foreign exchange transactions, effective the 1st of August, you would have to do that with your Ghana card if you're a local, and if you're a foreigner, you would need your passport to do that. We'll see how it plays out.
Indeed. And that's how we end Hot Edition here on 3FM 92.7. My name is Beatrice.
And I am Martin Aseidu Date.
Thank you very much for joining us today. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Have a good evening and do enjoy the rest of our programs.